want to talk about Sugar. This is on Apple TV Plus, and it is a TV show called Sugar, starring Colin Farrell, no less, talking about big film stars doing
I've
stuff
seen
on
the
TV.
banner for it.
Yes, yes. And now Sugar is one of these shows that started off and hasn't really. It's just sort of like yeah, whatever, and then something happens in let's see, there's 7 episodes and. Was it? No, it's 8 episodes. I think episode 6. Essentially, 2 episodes from the end. Something happens that made everybody go, "What?" But the basic premise of the basic premise of Sugar, is that Colin Farrell is when you meet him, he's a private eye. So he's a private eye in Hollywood, and he specializes in finding missing people. So the prologue is it's set in Japan. It's in black and white. It's him trying to find a missing person who is the son of somebody, ends up being the son of like somebody in the Yakuza. And it's all about how he operates and how he goes about trying to find this person. Then he finds that person, flies back to LA, and then you find out that he has a handler played by Kirby, an actress who used to be called Kirby Howell Baptiste, but has decided to go just by the name Kirby. I'm still trying to find out exactly why. There's been no explanation for that. It doesn't seem to be like a gender identification thing or anything like that. It just seems that she just decided, I want to be called Kirby. So you meet up with her. You find out he meets up with James Cromwell, who is a Hollywood movie producer whose granddaughter is missing, and he says, I want you to go find my granddaughter. And you find out that there's all this, so he decides to do it, but his handler is like, no, you're supposed to take a rest. You're not supposed to do this thing. There's something going on with his hand where he seems to seize up every now and then. And she's like, you're supposed to take a rest. You're not supposed to take any more cases. And she keeps seeming trying to dissuade him from taking this case. And he's like, no, I want to take this case because he saw the picture, and the picture reminds him of his sister, and because he wants to find this woman, and then he'll take a rest. And it carries on from there in a very Hollywood gumshoe vein. And it is the character of Sugar, played by Colin Farrell, John Sugar. He is obsessed with movies. He calls it an obsession. So he's always referring, and they keep having all these. I think Sharon, you and Sean would love this because it keeps having all these golden age of Hollywood snippets and showing all these clips from all these different films, and you can go, ooh, that's Humphrey Bogart. Ooh, and I think you would have a field day trying to spot all the different films that they put clips in it from, because some of them I'm like, I don't know what film that is, but I can tell you that is. There's Double Indemnity. I knew that one. it's like, oh, hang on a second, that's Robert Mitchum in that film where with the love and hate thing with the hands, the Night of the Hunter, yeah. They just keep having that, and it's like a thing because he is in that vein of a classic film noir detective going through the seedy underbelly of Hollywood, trying to find out what happened to this girl. So it's like, and it's a very effective story for that. But after a while, you're kind of like, well, it's just that story again. It's just that story again. And okay, cool, I'm going to enjoy it. And then episode 5 or 6 happens. And at the end of episode 5 or 6, something happens and you're like, what? and it immediately changes the story that you're watching. And it immediately changes the story that you're watching. And I still haven't decided whether it changes it in a good way or in a bad way, because there is a world in which I see what they did in that episode. There's a world in which I see what they did in the episode, and I immediately think, okay, they ran out of ideas. They ran out of ideas. And let me put it this way: what happens in that episode is so out there that I could sit down here with you and try and guess what happens. And I don't think you could. I don't think you could guess what happens when it goes like, this is a private eye. He's trying to find this woman. And then this happens. I don't think you could guess it. I really, really don't think you could.
Okay.
I really think you can guess it. It will be interesting to see. And it ends in such a way that the fact that it happens that end to the end of the season means that it totally changes what kind of show it is, and it's almost kind of like, oh well, come back in season 2 to see how this develops, because the thing I always complain about is when they don't wrap up a story in one season and they just say come back and see. This does wrap up the story, but it gives you a totally different, way out mad story of what's going to happen in season 2 if they get to do a season 2. So I am probably going to go with a high 3 with this, The main reason is because I cannot decide if what happens at the end of that episode, two episodes from the end, I can't decide whether it's a good storytelling left field decision, or if it's just a lazy run out of ideas, let's chuck this in. I can't decide. I really can't decide. So for me, it's going to be a 3 plus for Sugar.